University campus was our week in spiritual emphasis, also known as WISE, the one where we had a speaker come in and also when we had our students. It was truly an amazing experience to be in a space where everyone just wanted to get to know Jesus. It was about meeting people, sitting next to people, singing, laughing, joking around. It was truly an amazing experience. Coming to Burman University is truly an experience that you actually have the power to choose. If you come here and you pour into this campus will also pour back into you. But especially on those days that you don't have anything to give, there are people here who are willing to just consistently be there for you and pour into you. So you may be coming with a friend, or you may be considering coming alone. And even if you have no friends here, I promise you, in the first week of you being here, you will meet a ton of people who will just be there for you, have fun with you, invite you to events, sit down with you, and just welcome you here. This place is a place that you do want to be.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Burman University Hour. I am here with some students from Burman University, both current and recent graduate. So my name is Adam Hebert, and I'm the Senior Development Officer in the Office of Advancement. And I'm just going to give each one of these students an opportunity to introduce themselves, and then we've got a few questions we want to ask you about your experience that you can share with the people gathered here today.
Okay. My name is Emmanuel Olivier Jacques. I'm going into my third year of theology, and I'm 19 years old.
My name is Tyler Simon. I'm a recent graduate of Burman University.
Hi everyone, my name is Zenavia Frey, and I'm going into my fourth year of secondary education with a major in social studies and a minor in math.
All right. So when you think about, just before I get into that, I actually want to ask those of you out there, first of all, can you just raise your hand if you are a graduate of Burman University? Do we have any? Okay, we got a few alumni. Yeah, excellent. Very good. So as I'm asking them these questions, and you're listening to their experience, I want you to think back to your own time as a student on the hilltop and the answers that you would give. And I want to just get you thinking a little bit about how those answers may be the same or different than they were when you were a student, and just think a little bit about how that relates to you where you are now listening to these young people share their stories of coming to Burman. So the first question is, why did you choose to attend Burman?
Well, I chose to attend Burman University because I came from a smaller university in the Bahamas, and when picking Burman University, I felt like I was making the right choice. When arriving on campus, you feel warm and welcome. You quickly adjust to the atmosphere, and the professors and everybody is willing to work along with you and help you.
I just want to really emphasize the family aspect of Burman. Although being small sometimes can seem as something that's negative, it really is something positive in the end because you get that beautiful fellowship. It's so warm, like a nice atmosphere.
In addition, I came from a public school in Ontario, and our graduating class alone was about 350 to 400 students. So I came from a bigger school. It was a great experience, but coming to a place where my professor actually knew my name, and I wasn't just a student ID number. My professor actually recognized when I wasn't in class and somebody would seek me out. Sometimes I just wanted to stay hidden, but at the end of the day, people just care so much.
That's really cool. You talk about it being a small campus, and one of the really great things about being a small campus is that you can't just get lost. You get involved, whether you realize it and you want to or not. Tell me a little bit about what it's like to be involved on campus. What was it like for your spiritual growth? How did you get involved?
And what were some of the benefits of being involved on campus?
So I can speak personally on spiritual growth because, of course, I'm a theology major, so I kind of have to get some spiritual growth. But I have to say, it's a given. There's no way you're going to Burman and not growing spiritually. Like, I want to mention that or emphasize that like that family setting really allows you to explore who God is, and not necessarily through the study, but through the people. The people you meet at Burman reflect Jesus Christ. And I have to say that not only for the students, but for everyone. The staff, so much support. I barely graduated high school, and like some of my teachers were like, man, like, I wonder if you're gonna make it in college. Some of my teachers told me that. And I was worried, but like the amount of support that I've gotten is beautiful. Amen. The people at Burman reflect Christ.
When I think about ministry and the church on a whole, and then the church as a building, one of the questions that I've always asked is, if this church, if this building, if this group of people weren't here, would the community miss us? And I think that I can say confidently that if Burman University were not in Lacombe would miss us. One of the things that we do every single year that everyone looks forward to is Service Day. And we get to just go out into the community and serve, whether that's with food, going to the graveyard and making sure that the tombstones look nice, which is really important for some people. And when you think about ministry, you must think about service. And Jesus was not just concerned about how many people were baptized, how many people joined the church. He first made sure that people were fed. He made sure that people had a place to stay. He made sure that people were okay. So Burman is a place where we make sure that you're okay.
So
Coming back to the leadership component of it, how do you feel Burman provided for you and gave you opportunities to serve and grow as a leader? And how did that benefit you in a way that maybe was not what you expected, but certainly appreciated?
Well, we have awards ceremonies.
Okay.
And that is when you as a leader, you are recommended for the stuff you have done on our campus. And you feel well appreciated because you have all these donors that pour in, and you see how you are appreciated.
So there are
Practical elements as well.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. You talked a little bit about how your spiritual life has grown in service and in campus. Is there anybody who wants to add to that about your own experience, how you've grown spiritually?
I have the pleasure of serving as student chaplain for Burman University, and it is such an amazing time. We get to... Okay, let me share this. Something that's a little different about Burman than other campuses right now is that Burman doesn't have required worship credits. When you go to some other Adventist universities, people are required to go to church. So it's really cool when we go to our Vespers service, which we call Kaya, Come As You Are, or Ignite service, or something in the week, and church is packed. You realize that students are there because they want to be, not because they feel obligated to be. And when you're coming into a space of worship voluntarily, your heart and your mind is so much more open to receive everything that God has for you. So I think that's dope.
And I think if I could just add from this side looking in, one of the things I appreciate is that so much of what happens on campus is student-led. Yeah. It's not that they are being prodded or cajoled or forced to do something. They're actually taking the lead. You are taking the lead and making these things happen. And we're there to help you as faculty and staff. But it's really the opportunities that you have to take initiative and to lead out. And on that note, let me just ask you, how have you benefited from your interactions with the faculty and staff? How have they supported you in your spiritual growth? Or are there other ways that, we talk about how you've grown, but what has helped make that possible? Who has helped make that possible?
I have to say, going into that leadership, and you're saying everything is basically student-led. Me as an ambitious person, it was beautiful, because not only people were do this, do that, and I was oh, I can do that, but I also received the resources and the support needed, right? So campus ministries, Ignite team, there's so many places where the teachers and the staff want you to be involved in, and it's beautiful, But it's not only that people want you to participate, it's that they give you the resources necessary for you to achieve those goals and those self-growth things, right?
On campus, you can find professors and staff who are similar to you. There are some staff who are nerds about science. You've got some of the staff who love philosophy. You've got our staff who love the Bible. So it's like you can find almost like an intellectual equivalent in your staff and in your professors on campus, which is really cool because then it's not just all about schoolwork. You can talk about other things that intrigue you. And I think that's amazing.
For me, it was being a student in the dorm. I started off with my mentor, Dean Ralph, along with Pastor Marciel, where they encouraged me to know that, Tyler, take a leap of faith. You can do it. And I started off as being a resident assistant and working my way up to being a student dean at the university.
The other thing that I'm hearing in this is that the faculty and the staff, the spiritual support that you receive isn't just from the chaplains, it isn't just from the pastors. Everybody on campus is invested in your spiritual growth. They all want to encourage you, they want to support that, they want to provide you with the means and opportunities to make that happen. So you talk about why you came to Burman and why you chose to make this your school that you attend. What would you say to others who are considering their post-secondary? Why Burman? Not only why Burman versus, say, a public school, but why Burman for the Adventist opportunities that are out there? How would you encourage someone to come to Burman? What would you do to say this is the place you want to be?
Do it. Come. It's. I kind of want to steal your words, but this is where growth begins. Growth is inevitable. Inevitable. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of stole your words, but yeah.
I have a little different of an experience where I didn't come from an Adventist high school. So I had the opportunity to build a foundation for my faith at home, and Burman is the place that I got to grow that. So for someone who is looking for a place where they can grow and practice their faith every single day, every single week, it's a great, great, great space to be because although Lacombe is a small city and Burman is a smaller university, not all of Lacombe is Adventist. So you are interacting with people who aren't Adventist, and then you get opportunities to interact with other people and talk about your faith because people will say, "What's Burman? I've never heard of that." And you get to talk to them a little bit more about what's unique about our university.
All right. Very good. So these are the words, and I would just say I asked the questions, but the students came up with the answers. They weren't given lines, they weren't given prompts or anything to talk about. This is all straight from the heart, straight from their own experience. So thank you very much for being willing to share, and I think we should thank them for their willingness to share. Yes? So I just want to turn this back around really quick before we leave the stage and just ask, I started by asking the question, I'll ask it again now that we've got a few more people in the audience. How many of you had your education experience at Burman University? You graduated, you attended, somewhere along the way. Okay. So if you missed the question at first or you missed the thought at first, it was think about how you would answer these questions that we talked about from your time at Burman. And I just want to ask, not necessarily by show of hands, but even just by nod of heads or whatever, how many of you can relate to what they shared as their experiences from your time when you were at Burman? The opportunity for spiritual growth, the support and the nurture that you received from your staff and your faculty, the people that taught you and supported you, the opportunities for leadership and involvement, the benefits that you had from being part of that small supportive community that was still part of a much larger community. How many of you can say whenever you attended that you can relate to those experiences? All right. So again, completely unprompted, completely unrehearsed, straight from the heart, and yet, as you can see, it hasn't changed over the years. This continues to be the ethos, the heart of what makes Burman University what it is. And it's because of the people that have made the Hilltop their school of choice that it continues to maintain that. So thank you very much for being willing to share. Thank you for your support of Burman University and the students that continue to make it the place that it is and continue to leave from this place, as you have, to go out and make a difference in the world.
I could sit and listen to the students all afternoon. They're the ones that really make us proud. I am so happy. Thank you, Tyler and Danelia and Manny. It is great to hear what a difference Burman University does, not only to provide you the academic excellence that you seek, but also to provide the spiritual opportunities for you to grow, and that is so wonderful. As I say, I would rather listen to them, but anybody that gives me a chance to speak about Burman University, I'll take it. I'm Dr. Lauren Agri, president of the university, and it is a delight. It really gives immense joy and excitement for us to be here this Sabbath afternoon at the Alberta Camp meeting. This time really holds a special place in our hearts as it grants us that opportunity to reconnect with those of you who are alumni, with those of you who are cherished friends from across Alberta, and some of you from other parts of Canada. We welcome you to our time this afternoon. Today I am thrilled to share some exciting news about Burman University and report that our campus is doing well. This past year, we opened with 363 students, a little lower than we would have liked. COVID has not been kind to us when it comes to enrollment, but we're working to get those numbers back. 50% of those students come to us from Alberta. And so this is our home conference, and we're very, very pleased to be located here. Students, of course, come from all across Canada, the other 10 provinces, 3 territories, and around the world. If you come into our cafeteria, you'll see the flags of over 30 different countries represented in our student body, a truly, truly diverse campus. Every year we take a part in a survey that is conducted by the Canadian University Survey Consortia. And they have a survey for first-year students, for second and third-year students, and then for graduating students. But our first-year students took a survey last year, and I'd like to just share with you some of the results that came out of that. They are just very, very highly encouraging. They serve as a testament to our unwavering commitment to providing an exceptional educational experience, and also reaffirm what you just heard the students say, reaffirming our dedication to supporting our students' success. So allow me to highlight just some of the noteworthy results. Students were asked to rate the likelihood of recommending their university. Now, students from all across Canada and many, many universities take this survey. And so they were asked this: how would they recommend their university to others? Well, 65% of Burman students rated Burman at a 9 or a 10 out of 10. That compares to the national average of 26%. 2.5 times the amount of our first-year students say, yes, I would recommend Burman to other students. And the survey really shows that Burman first-year students are engaged and impacted by their presence on our campus. First-year students led all the participating schools with quite a complex calculation. I won't go into it, but Burman scored 46. That might not sound very good if you're thinking out of 100. It wasn't out of 100, but they scored 46. You know what the national average was? 1. So we are significantly higher with student satisfaction on our survey. In addition, 95% of participating first-year students from Burman reported they are very satisfied or satisfied with their decision to attend Burman. 95% of Burman first-year students responded with very much or some to indicate the degree to which they felt they belonged at their university, in this case at Burman. 95% say they feel they belong. That compares to 72% of the other universities. We have a mission statement. There's 3 key words that we like to emphasize in that mission statement: think, believe, and act. And so I'd like to frame my remarks a little bit this afternoon around some of those thoughts. The first word, think. We say think with discernment. Last year, we had the Adventist Accrediting Association, or AAA as we call it, come. They come to see if they can provide accreditation for the schools, not only in the North American Division, but around the world. And so they visited us last year. They granted us a full 5-year certificate of accreditation, indicating that we are meeting the expectations of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in fulfilling our vision, our mission, and our values. And I really want to take a moment to thank our faculty and our staff who continue to work to ensure that Burman is the place where our young students can thrive. Additionally, a review team came from the North American Division, specifically visiting our School of Education. And we're very happy in this past year, because of their visit, they were able to provide a full 6-year clear term of endorsement from the NAD. Our School of Education is our largest program on campus and continues to be one of our shining programs. It continues to prepare teachers for our schools, but not only our schools, for other schools as well, public schools, other independent schools. And in doing that, it will help those teachers influence the next generation of learners. This past April, we graduated 31 students from our teacher education program with a Bachelor of Education degree. 25 of them have already been picked up as teachers. Last year, we graduated 27, and all 27 were able to find jobs, some of them even before graduation. So we're very, very happy at the placement of our teachers in the schools. And by the way, the Seventh Adventist Church in Canada and the seven conferences, including Alberta, have provided paid practica experiences as well as scholarships. So if any of you are interested in becoming a teacher or know somebody who may be interested, please talk to us. There's some great opportunities there. Our professors have been very, very busy, and many have spent a significant amount of time in research in their respective fields. And the continuous scholarship of our faculty only increases the knowledge and the wisdom that they can share with their students in the classroom. I'd like to talk about one of our professors, the chair of our International Studies Department, Dr. Mark Froese. He just published a book this year, co-authored with a professor from York University. The book is a real significant accomplishment and contributes to our campus research profile. You may have heard Mark on CBC. He was interviewed on several different CBC programs because of his publication. Dr. Larry Herr, professor of religious studies emeritus, completed a 10-volume review of his archaeological work in Jordan on the Madaba Plains Project. It's a life work. He has spent his entire career working there. 10 volumes he's written. He's actually on his 11th volume right now. The Society of Biblical Literature, a major journal in this field, recognized him in their publication, Review of Biblical Literature. And these 10 and now 11 volumes really represent a lifetime of work for Dr. Herr and his archaeological colleagues. Very well received in the broader archaeological circles. Dr. Delano Lewis, who I saw a little bit earlier this morning, he might be here. If he is, if you are here, Delano, wave your hand. We're very proud of you too, because as Associate Professor of Biology, he has successfully applied for external research funding. His topic of study is butterflies. And he goes out to the Ellisburg farm, which is just a short distance from Lacombe, and spends time there studying them. He was granted $36,000 for his research at the Ellisburg farm. But more recently than that, he was given an external research grant from the NSERC, or National Science and Engineering Research Council, the federal government's research grant organization. First time we at Burman have ever received a grant from NSERC, but he was given over $500,000 for a 5-year study of butterflies. So we're very proud of Dr. Delano breaking ground in this area. Another exciting faculty accomplishment comes from our music department. Dr. Wendy Markowski, who is chair of our music department, is a Juno Award winner. For those of you who may not be familiar with Juno Awards, a Juno Award is the top award given to Canadian musicians and recognize excellence in Canadian music. This past year, Dr. Markowski was a performer in the production called Early Italian Cello Concertos by cellist Eleanor Frey and the Rosa Barocca Ensemble that won the Juno Award for the Classical Album of the Year Small Ensemble for 2023. Exciting that we have faculty members on our campus that truly make a difference. Also in music, continuing the success of that department, our very own Zoe McCormick, a very recent graduate, just graduating this past April with her music performance degree, competed in the Alberta Registered Music Teachers Association vocal competition. She will now represent Alberta in the national competition this summer. We have certainly enjoyed having her on our campus and listening to her beautiful voice and vocal abilities. We know that those who hear her off campus will certainly enjoy her as well. Our students also participate in research. It's not just the faculty that have to do research, but we have students doing research. And this past year, we celebrated with our second annual research conference for students. In March, we hosted the Student and Faculty Research Conference, and we're very pleased to expand this year to not only have poster presentations, but also full conference presentations. So each student or group of students partnered with a faculty member, and some very intriguing research was the result. And in future years, we plan to see this conference expand and continue to provide students with the opportunities to prepare themselves for graduate level research. They did just a super job. One department on campus really helps our students become successful. That's known as the Sakala Student Success Center. The center offers a wide range of programs and services to help our students succeed at university. Sometimes a student may just have a little problem. Maybe they find the course a little bit difficult, or maybe they're having some problems personally. But the Sakala Success Center is there to help, understanding the difficulties that they face in post-secondary education. The center offers academic, professional, mental health, emotional support through seminars, through workshops, through counseling. For example, if a student feels nervous, finds it very difficult to take examinations, the Sakala Center will give them the opportunity to write tests in a stress-free environment, enabling them to showcase their knowledge to their very fullest ability. The Success Center also offers tutoring to any student in any class, all free of charge. We have tutoring and tutors for students all across campus to help them be successful. So the Success Center truly is aptly named, as they have contributed greatly to the success of many of our students. The second word in our mission statement that we talk about is believe. And that you heard from our students already. You heard how important that is in their experience. We say we want them to believe with insight and commitment. And so while our academics continue to excel, The heart of our campus lies in our belief and love of our Lord Jesus Christ. And the engine for that on the hilltop is our campus ministries team, which consists of over 31 students under the guidance of our chaplain, leading out many, many other students participating. And these students lead the way in spiritual programming on campus with small groups. The video showed that just a few moments ago, with Tuesday chapels, with culminating in our weekly Vespers program. Our students consistently single out Vespers as essential to their Burman experience. After a very long week of studying and social activities, an evening of praise and worship with their fellow students is just what invigorates them to begin the Sabbath and then to take on another week. Another very exciting day that we have on campus at the beginning of every year, just within the first 2 or 3 weeks, is known as our service day. Our student ministries don't just stay on campus. Each year during our service day, we descend onto our local community. We actually call it Serve Lacombe Day. And we make ourselves available for service activities. We cancel classes, we invite students, we invite faculty and staff to come and make a difference in our community. And Service Day really is just the start as the students look for opportunities then throughout the year to continue serving in the community through many of those campus ministries that we talked about. Another important element that we have at the beginning of every school year is our Wise Week, our week in spiritual emphasis. We start our 2 academic terms, both winter and fall and winter, with a Wise Week. And in our second term, the Wise Week, the special speakers are actually our students themselves. In each service, the student shares their testimony with the entire campus, and just being there and listening to them, I am so proud of them as they surrender their fears and allow God to use them to minister to their peers and to the rest of campus. You know, in a university of our size, we're quite small, but because of that, it means that there's no one left behind. Opportunities for service, for leadership are ever present. We are a campus of leaders, and every time I see the student take up the mantle of servant leadership, I'm encouraged to know that the leaders we have on the Burman campus will eventually go on and continue their service in their own communities back at home. I believe strongly that the future is bright with our students leading the way. The third word in our mission statement that we focus on is that of act. Act with confidence, compassion, and competence. You know, Christian university education is an investment. And we do all we can to ensure that there is as much help as possible for each student, and that money should not be an obstacle in getting a degree. So through the support of our friends and alumni and so many of you who have made a difference and generously given back, we can assist many, many students as possible in their educational goals. 80% of our students, believe that our education is worth the investment, and up to 50% of our students receive scholarships upon admission. With over $1 million provided for entrance scholarships awarded to our first-year students, paying for your education is more attainable than you might imagine. First-year students are eligible to receive the following entrance scholarships. They can receive an early admissions scholarship. They can receive the President's Award for athletics, or for leadership, or for music, or academic excellence. And so there's a wide variety of scholarships that are so available to our students. And accessing these entrance scholarships can see the tuition costs reduced by up to 30%, and even more in the first year. And I'm just going to give a sidebar comment here that The cost, the total cost of coming to Burman, tuition, dorm, board in the cafeteria, all the cost is actually at less than the national average for university costs across Canada. You might find that hard to believe, but it's true. We're actually lower than the national average cost. One of my favorite nights of the year is our awards night. We grant scholarships totaling over $193,000 this past year, coming directly from donors. Many of you that are sitting here have given for scholarships, and I want to thank you for that. These donors look to give back and share the blessing shared with them when they were students. A further $59,000 was dispersed to students in recognition of academic excellence and their GPA status. Many of our donors travel back to campus and personally present their awards to the student. It's a beautiful evening that showcases to our current students that our alumni continue to hold this school in a very, very special place in their hearts. And I want to thank each one of you who have made a difference. So I'd like to welcome you back to campus. If you haven't been there a while, please come. We'd love to show you around. There's been some changes. You see the picture of the new library. Please come and see the new library. I want to thank you again. I did last year because we were so close to reaching our goal, but this year I can say that we have bypassed the $6 million goal for the library. The library is completely paid for, a beautiful new building on campus of which so many of you helped out, so thank you. But come, take a tour, contact us. We'd love and be more than happy to take you on a tour. On an exhilarating note on visits, just last week, we had over 330 of the pastors from across Canada on our campus with their families and the presenters. We had over 500 people there for about 4.5 days, and we were just thrilled to have them. But if you want to come, please come, and we'd be more than happy to give you a tour. We know that your university, Canada's Seventh-day Adventist University, what we like to think of it as God's university, is only as successful as the support that we receive from all of you here and from across Canada. And it is through your support and God's leading that we can continue to be a place where our students from all across Canada can come and learn. A place where they can grow in God. A place where they can belong. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. It's been a delight to be here. There's still a little bit more, but once again, I want to thank each one of you for not only being here, but also supporting our Seventh-day Adventist University in Canada.
Okay, let's do a little better than that. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, that's a little bit better. Let's try one more time. Good afternoon, everyone. There we go. How many of us have heard the word Redeemer? Can I see your hands? Many of us have heard this word, but we actually don't know what it means, so I'm going to share a little bit with you. Redeemer refers to someone who delivers you from sin and gives you freedom from captivity. As I sing this song, I pray that you are blessed. The sun where to stand in the morning, and who told the ocean you can only come this far, and who showed the moon where to hide till evening, whose words alone can catch a falling star, testify. Let this life within me cry. I know my Redeemer, He lives. The very same God that spins things in orbit, He runs to the weary, the worn and the weak, and the same, those gentle hands that hold me when I'm broken, they conquer death to bring me victory. And I know my Redeemer, He lives. I know my Redeemer lives. Just let all creation testify that this life within me cry. I know my Redeemer, He lives to take away my shame, and He lives forever. I'll proclaim that the payment for my sin was the precious life that He gave, and now He's alive and there's an empty grave. And I know that my Redeemer, He lives. I know my Redeemer lives. Just let all creation, let it testify that this life within me cries. I know my Redeemer. I know that my Redeemer, He lives. I know that my Redeemer, He lives. Yes, I know, I know, I know. He lives, He lives, He lives. He takes all my shame, He takes all my pain, He takes all my sorrow. My Redeemer lives. Yes, He lives. He lives. My Redeemer lives. Amen.
Now imagine having that on the regular as part of your worship experience. That's just a taste of what we get on the hilltop on the week-to-week basis. As you think about Burman University, you may think to yourself, well, I don't really have anybody that's university age to send. That's okay. There are many, many, many different ways that you can be involved on our campus. And it doesn't matter where you live, it doesn't matter if you're close to the hilltop or you're far away. You can keep up with what's going on with the university, you can hear the stories, you can be part of the experience. I don't know if we can go back and just bring up that contact, those different ways of reaching out through our social media. There it is, right there. The website, our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. How many of you receive this magazine in the mail? All right, put your hands down. How many of you are alumni that do not receive this magazine? You've never seen this across your mailbox. Okay. How many of you maybe aren't alumni, but you've heard a little bit about what's going on here, and you say, I'd like to keep up with what's going on at Burman University, and I'd like to get this magazine. I'd like to be aware of what's going on. This is a magazine that's produced twice a year. We have a spring and a winter volume that come out, or spring or fall, and it traces some of the things that we've talked about today. It gives you a little bit more detail, and it just helps you stay in touch with what's going on campus. Now, I'm going to invite a few people to stand up to be kind of the contact people around. If you are looking for a face to say, hey, I'm interested in Burman, can I get our marketing and enrollment team to stand up? So Christina, Vinny, Tanya, I know you're here. So these are some of our marketing and enrollment folk. Oh, Mario, you are back there. Very good to see you. Okay. So these are our marketing and enrollment folks. These are the folks that are out there visiting the schools. They're out there visiting the churches. They're out there letting our students across Canada know that Burman University is a school of choice for their further education after they've finished high school. Myself in the advancement office and Diane and Shannon who are over in the tent. The Burman tent is located just a couple of buildings down on this side toward the entrance. If you see the juniors building, which has the huge front of the Gate of Babylon on it, that's an easy one to spot. The Burman tent is actually right there. It's the big bright red Burman tent. We'll be here all week. Stop over. If you don't get a copy of this magazine, leave us with your address and contact information, and we will make sure that you are included in our mail out so that you can be part of the activities and hear about what's happening on the hilltop. If you are interested in sending a student, or you're a student who's interested in learning more about coming to Burman, head over to the tent and check it out. If you're an alumni and you want to just come over and say hi and catch up on some great stories, that is the place that you want to be. These are the people that you want to look for. We are so excited that we have the opportunity to be part of not only the present and the future of the work here in Canada, but that we also have a very big part of the rich history of what has happened here in Canada. In just a few minutes, we're going to have an ordination service for those of you who may have come in and wondering why we're not getting to that yet. We will get there, I promise. We're going to wrap up. But I would just point out that, and I don't have the names right in front of me, Maciel, you might know offhand, of the 5 candidates that we have right now, do you know how many of the ordinate? 3 for sure. 3 of our current ordination candidates, yes, that is worth celebrating, are graduates of our university. And so we know that this university is integral to the work that the Lord continues to do here in Alberta and across Canada and indeed around the world. And again, we want you to continue to consider how that can be something that you are involved in, something that you can continue to be part of and pray for and support in the many ways that you do. So as we conclude now, I would just invite you to bow your heads with me as we have a word of blessing and as we continue to enjoy the other blessings that this Sabbath day is bringing to us. Would you pray with me? Father in heaven, we are so grateful that we can come together as your people at this very special time of year, when we can assemble and call ourselves with pride the followers of Jesus. And we thank you that as a people, there are so many things that unite us, and that one of those things that unites us is this school that we have the privilege of having right here in our own backyard. Of all the places in Canada that it could be, it is here, and we are grateful. And we are grateful for the influence that it has. And we thank you for the way that you have blessed the many who have passed through its doors over the years, for the way that you bless those who continue to be part of this Hilltop community today. And we are excited for the way that you will continue to be a blessing on the Hilltop and from there bless out into the world. God, as we continue to see your light shining down and on and through the work that is being done at Burman University, may we be inspired and encouraged to know that as part of the object of your supreme regard, this institution will thrive under your blessing. And it is for that blessing and thanks for the blessings that you give that we give you all the thanks and praise. Amen.